For the American edition of The Voice of Russia, I'm Alex Hazeltine. Yesterday, an unmanned Russian supply ship docked with the International Space Station a mere 6 hours after leaving Earth's atmosphere. Joining us to discuss the successful docking of the Progress spacecraft with the ISS is Alexander Rodyn. He's an associate professor at Moscow Physical Technical Institute. Thank you for joining us today, Alexander.
Thank you. Hello.
Now, as I understand it, this launch was particularly significant because in the past, spacecraft have required days, not hours, to reach the International Space Station. How was this achieved?
Yes, that's correct. That's a really significant achievement of space industry because before, that Russian space launch and carrying system was based on quite old technical solutions that date back to Korolev time. And now the experts for the first time tested completely new navigation system and control system that required much more accurate control of momentum, attitude, and other spacecraft parameters. So famous reliability of the Russian space systems that actually brought the system to the market should be the same as with older system, but the efficiency and accuracy we expected much improvement in that parameters. So basically, this has been achieved by introducing new electronics, new computer systems, more accurate calculations, and more accurate control of spacecraft parameters.
So in the past, presumably, the scientists who were launching a craft and trying to have it connect with another craft that's already in orbit, obviously it's an incredibly complicated mathematically to calculate the trajectories. But so is this more an advancement in terms of the technical, the machines that are involved? And in the past, they had an idea of what they wanted to achieve, but the technology simply did not exist to send these crafts with the level of accuracy that it is now? Or is this an intellectual advancement where they have simply discovered a way to be more accurate in their calculations?
Well, I'm not so well informed about technical details. I'm sure there are some certain ideas that made it possible. But fundamentally speaking, the old scheme had very, very large tolerances because, carrying human lives is extremely high responsibility. And this system was implemented in the old times on very primitive electronics. Current computing system, of course, are much, much more advanced and much more powerful. But the steps to implement these advances should be done very, very slowly and accurately. And I would say this is very natural, but only the first step to implement the power and accuracy of modern computing system. I would say it's done only now, just because of very, very conservative character of space industry as a whole.
So do you think that the success of this launch will be enough that the space industry will start applying these new technologies and strategies to manned space expeditions in the short term? Or do you think that there's some time and more study that needs to be done before we'll be launching, for example, a Soyuz rocket with cosmonauts and astronauts and Chinese astronauts to the International Space Station using this more quicker method? Because I understand it must be, the spacecrafts are very small, so I can only imagine it's very uncomfortable for the astronauts to be in there for several days. And if we could cut the trip from 2 days to 6 hours, I'm sure at least the scientists who are out there conducting these experiments, they would appreciate it, I imagine, right?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's absolutely critical for astronauts, for cosmonauts to reach the station faster. And of course, it's not a big technical achievement, but step forward to make space flight more comfortable. But remember that the history of space exploration unfortunately has dark pages, and we know that sometimes introducing new technical systems would put human lives on the risk. So I think it's my opinion. Again, I'm not very well informed about detailed plans of Roscosmos, but in my opinion, it would be more reasonable to demonstrate several successful flight of Progress, or maybe unmanned Soyuz flight before implementing this system for spacecraft with crews.
Certainly a fascinating topic and with broad implications for the international space travel. We've been speaking with Alexander Rodyn. He's an associate professor at Moscow Physical Technical Institute. Thank you so much for joining us today, Alexander.
Thank you.